15th of February 2024. This is one of that Let's Talk Skidmarks of mine. And the title of this thing is Reality Check. I have seen lots of things happening this past 2-3 weeks in South Africa and in Europe and in America that is clear indicators that the people are beginning to wake up. The ordinary, right-thinking, decent people are beginning to wake up. Now what you have to take into consideration and take note and really think about, XXX is not playing. And they have, over years, they have said it in books, in films, in shows, exactly what they're planning for us. And that is that they're planning to wipe us out. Klaus Schwab doesn't make a secret of what his opinion is about the useless eaters. Bill Gates the same. All of those guys, they make no secret of what they're planning for us. You saw with your own eyes and experienced it, what they did to us with the pestilence. The after effects is only hitting now, but people don't see it and they don't pay attention. Then we look at the political situation in South Africa. What you must take into consideration is that everything that you see by these politicians is only about that 400 seats in Capetown. That's what it's about. Nothing else. Those 400 seats. Those seats are basically literally worth their weight in gold. Because the moment that your ass hits that seat, you're a made man or a made woman. And you must not for one moment bluff yourself and think that any one of them actually cares about you. All they're after is your vote to get them in that seat. And they're doing spectacular things. I mean, if you look at what Neil de Beer is doing today, all over. I mean, today specifically, he was in Groblersdal. Yes, a lot of the things that he said is 100% sensible. But never forget what he is really after. He's after your vote. You see, Julius Malema, he inspires a lot of these youngsters. But do they ever, for one moment, sit down and think carefully, what has Julius actually achieved in all these years with the EFF? What did he achieve that makes it possible for you to have hope for your children? Nothing. Nothing! He has not created one job that will be a lifetime job for the guy that got it. Nothing else. But he lives in super luxury, while the vast majority of those that are cheering him are living in horrific poverty. But they get themselves whipped up. Now they're talking a lot about the land, and he aims at the farmers. If you have any intelligence, you must go and look up the data on KwaZulu-Natal, and you will find that more than 80% of the agricultural land in Natal is in the hands of blacks. But they don't tell you that. They run with this shit story of whites own 70% of the land, which is utter nonsense. But I'm not going to try and convince you to think about that and investigate that. That's up to you. What I'm telling you is, you listening to me, you must understand you are part of that group that has been labeled by XXX as useless eaters, and they are going to remove you. They are planning to remove a hell of a lot of us. That's what you. And the frightening thing is, here in South Africa, the politicians are executing the commands of XXX. They think that they will be okay in the end. In the end, they will be wiped away as well, because that XXX elite, there is no room there for any of these. None of it. So, you must understand that these politicians are only after those seats. Let's look at another reality. Look at the railway system in South Africa. It is totally destroyed and dysfunctional. A small portion of it operates. And then it operates on a shoestring. Look around you, how the industrial areas are quieting down. Empty buildings, empty workshops, empty factories wherever you look. Go into your town and into your business area, and you will see all those hundreds of small and medium businesses that was part of South Africa, that was part of the wealth of South Africa. They're gone. Foreigners has got shops. Foreigners everywhere. Here in Nelspruit, the Riverside Mall is basically populated by Pakistanis. You as a South African need to ask yourself, how did that happen? But what I want to tell you is you sit and you watch on your TV the problems building up in Europe with immigrants, in England with immigrants, in America with immigrants. What you need to understand, exactly the same shit is happening here in South Africa, but you don't see it because if immigrants stream into a European country, it is blacks streaming into a white country, and it's clearly visible. But here in South Africa, it is blacks streaming into a black country, so the blacks don't see it. But if you're truthful to yourself, and you look around in your townships and wherever you live, and start taking note of how many immigrants are there, you will be shocked to understand how many. But you don't see it if you look casually. Now you must understand, those immigrants, they are the XXX soldiers. They're coming here with one mission, and that is to take the country over and destroy you. That's what they are here for. And here comes the kicker. Malema, he encourages that. But yet, you think he's the big guy, and you're going to vote for him. I cannot understand it. But then he's got the advantage that the bulk of his voter stock is fairly uneducated. So he can maneuver them wherever he wants them, because they run on emotion. And if you do not pay attention to the danger that is already in our midst, you will disappear and evaporate when these guys start taking action. But if I warn you, I'm a racist old white boor. But the reality is, if you go to a hospital, Tembisa, Krasani, anywhere, go to any one of the hospitals, go and check how many immigrants is there and how you struggle to get service. You go to Capetown, any restaurant, find a local working there. I used to go a lot to Capetown, and I was always amazed at the waiters. None of them are locals. But you guys, you sit quietly and you allow it to happen to you. And if I talk about it, I'm a racist. But you must just understand, there are informed operators that estimates the number of immigrants in South Africa, illegal immigrants, between 25 and 30 million. Now a lot will jump up and say, you crazy old man. Say, okay, but think about it. Look how you're suffering with water. I'm not going to talk about electricity. Water. Look how scarce water has become. And that huge human load in the environment is polluting everything. But you don't see it. You sit and you listen to Cyril Ramaphosa standing there, giving his talk, talking a lot of nonsense. But when you look at him, you must understand and think about it. On his private airplane, if you sit down at the dining room table in that plane, the cost per meal is horrific, into the thousands of rands. And you must try and buy a month's groceries to feed you and your family with 350 rand grant. Think about that. You struggle to get to your job if you are lucky to have a job. And they cruise on the highways at high speed with these blue light brigades. Don't you see that this ANC top cabal is already acting exactly like dictators? Like a dictator, they live in obscene luxury. They've got this massive protection units and blue light brigades, and that is dictators. But yet, if me, a white guy, points it out, you call me a racist. Now, I've got news for you. You can call me anything that you like. I don't care. I really don't care. And the reality of these things does not sink in. Everyone makes a big story about this shit-shot moonpack of Johnny. And now I believe there's 11 parties already in that shit-shot. Just ask yourself the following. If by a miracle they win and they're in charge, they're the new government on Monday, do you think the ANC is going to surrender power just like that? Because you must understand, when a new government takes over, there's a massive amount of cadres that are going to lose their jobs. Apart from the seats that they're going to lose in Parliament, they're going to lose positions, in key positions in government, in SOEs, everywhere. They're going to lose it because they've been appointed there by the ruling party. So they're going to lose those jobs. Do you think those guys are going to go quietly into the night? So between the ANC and the EFF, they will make the country ungovernable. That new government has got a problem. They don't have a noteworthy army. They don't have a noteworthy police force anymore. There are a lot of good policemen in the police force, but they're scattered around the country. They don't have a police force that will be able to cope with the disruptions. But yet, you keep on falling for the bullshit they're feeding you. These politicians cannot save the country. Doesn't matter which party they are. Why do I say that? Because the base industry, gone. Commerce, close to gone. Railroads, gone. Harbors, gone. All of those are the things that makes a country. And all of that is gone. So it doesn't matter whether there's a new government coming in after the election. That government will not be able to do anything for you to save you. Because what is broken is so broken that it will take more than a lifetime, more than your lifetime, to fix it. Provided they have the skills. Where are the top skills? Look, you are sitting in, I see the ANC cadre sitting in Parliament and cheering for the NHI bill. Do you realize what is going to happen if that bill is implemented? Private medical care is gone. And a vast number of doctors are going to leave the country. They're going to go to countries where they are appreciated. So you will sit without health care. It's not NHI now. And look at the condition of the hospitals already. They can't provide service there. They bullshit you and tell you they're going to get a lot of money. And with that money they can make the service delivery better. They're talking bullshit. You have seen how they've wasted billions. Look at that obscene amount of money they wasted during the pestilence without saving a single life. But the money is gone. So, and then the Bella Bill. What is the Bella Bill? What is going to be the net effect of the Bella Bill? The net effect of the Bella Bill is that the bulk of the black children in South Africa is going to get zero education. White children will have a chance because the whites, first of all, There's a lot of skills in the white population, there's a lot of teachers in the white population, and the white population will make sure that their children get educated at home and everywhere. What's going to happen to the black children? So here comes another generation that will be unemployable. Now for you, a young guy, 20 years, 22 years old, sitting wherever you are, unemployed, the chances of you ever being employed in the rest of your life is very slim, because there's nowhere that you can be employed. So you don't have a future, but you will be sitting around and waiting maybe for a grant or something. But the grants are going to dry up because the country is bankrupt. So I don't know, what do you really expect to achieve by being as militant and destructive as you are? The only thing that you are doing is you are destroying more things that will never be rebuilt. And the education system is already screwed, and now you're cheering for the Bella Bill. That will mean those things will be gone in another 2 or 3 years. If that bill is implemented in another 2 or 3 years, the chances of you getting your children educated to a level that they would be able to compete in the job market is almost zero. Because we know, there's many reports that have showed it, that grade 10 children cannot read with comprehension. Very few black children get to matric and pass their matric with mathematics. And where do you think they are going to end up in a modern world? But that is me saying it, and if I say it, you don't need to listen because I'm a racist. But those are the realities. No healthcare, no education. I don't even want to talk about security. I read an article this afternoon of people in one of the townships that took the law into their own hands, and they stoned 7 people that has been terrorizing the community. And I'm 100% sure, if you go and check, those guys that has been stoned, they're not South African. So you black people, you must understand, XXX has made it clear that they're going to remove the useless eaters. They've already planted the tools to remove you in your communities. 25 million illegal immigrants in there. They're here to take care of you, to take you away. I was in a chat room one night on Telegram where the guys were discussing it, and there were Ethiopians there, Somalians, and guys from Nigeria. And they openly say, the stupidest blacks in the world lives in South Africa, and the one guy bragged and said, we're going to take that country. But you think, if I say it, I'm a racist. You better open your eyes. They're going to take the country away from you. They're going to wipe you out, because that is the master plan from XXX. So, on this evening, my message to you is open your eyes and look carefully and see the signs. See the abandoned factories. See the stripped railway lines. See it and understand that is your future that has died. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing. Thank you for your support.